Looking back through history, we can find that there was ancient Rome's year of 4 emperors, and then France had the War of the Two Peters. So I guess when some royal biographer in the future is managing to put down their Waitrose brand gin and tonic long enough and writes the history of the House of Windsor circa 2023, they might be able to focus solely on the month of the two dresses. Because if we really want to understand where things currently stand, the same month that King Charles and Queen Camilla married arcane tradition and 18th century cosplaying for TV cameras, then really we just need to look at the tale of two frocks. One dress was worn by Catherine, the Princess of Wales, who has just played quite the blinder and had one of her best months ever, and the second dress was worn by Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, and Meghan is coming off of one of the rockiest patches she has seen since she first arrived on the scene. We've got 1 month, 2 royal wives, and 2 very different futures. The irony would be pretty hard to miss, but anyway, let's go through things in order. First, the whole world got to watch the coronation on May 6, which was basically about 7 decades in the making. Catherine showed up looking like she definitely had understood the assignment. She showed up looking regal as ever. She was wearing an Alexander McQueen gown and a headpiece worn under her Royal Victorian Order mantle, all of which made her look like she was trying to channel Britannia with a little bit of Queen Mary's steel thrown in for good measure. And just in case anybody doubted whether a former accessories buyer, whose greatest achievement before she married William was running a charity roller disco, had really made it, well, here was our proof. Catherine looked every bit a princess. It looked like she was born for this role, more than any other blue blood, in fact. And it's not only the wardrobe that Catherine is nailing, but the actual job as well. It wasn't enough for Catherine to just open things every now and again and do a lot of ribbon cutting. Oh no. In the last few years, Catherine has pulled off the biggest royal coup since the Stuarts got to have a go on the throne. The Royal Foundation Center for Early Childhood might not sound like much, but it actually is tackling some really important issues like addiction and homelessness and mental health in the next generation. In the last few months only, Catherine has gathered CEOs from 9 global corporations for a business task force. She has launched a UK-wide advertising campaign, and somehow she found the time to write an op-ed piece for the Financial Times. That, of course, is the go-to newspaper of plutocrats and presidents and power brokers all over the world. So it looks like we are getting to know a whole new Catherine. She was actually hiding a lot of ambition all this time. Catherine has basically gone from strength to strength. She is nailing it. But we cannot really say the same for her sister-in-law, Meghan Markle. In the last month, Meghan's biggest achievement is giving hers a whole lot of global exposure. Just last week, Meghan and Harry and Meghan's mother Doria showed up at an awards gala in New York to collect her award for being a top feminist, and it did not go unnoticed that as she was coming through some kind of side entrance, she had to walk right through the rental car outpost. And for that evening, Meghan Markle was spotted wearing a gold dress from Joanna Ortiz. That gold number reminded me of something that Carrie from Sex and the City would have worn. It was a little bit of old Hollywood glamour meets 21st century power players. And if Catherine had been trying to improve her queenly credentials with her outfit and doing a little bit to help the knockoff royal souvenir industry, then Meghan's was all about trying to portray herself as somebody who is in control of her own narrative. And all of that went pretty well until about 2 hours later, when Meghan and Harry and Doria left the Ziegfeld ballroom and managed to be subsumed by a whole new tsunami of headline-making drama. According to their mouthpiece, what came after was a near-catastrophic car chase, an interpretation of events that wasn't exactly shared by people like the NYPD and the mayor of New York. In the week and a little bit since that day, more maps, more diagrams have come out in the UK media. There are now an absurd number of details available to find out more information about this controversial Manhattan journey. And it's not only that little debacle that has gotten the two of them in trouble. In fact, it's pretty difficult to understand how anybody could claim that things are going well in the world of Meghan and Harry lately. Their Netflix show may have made quite the impact, and Harry's book may have sold well. But 6 months after all that, Meghan and Harry are starting to look pretty boring. And the big unanswered question that is still surrounding them is, what else do they really have to offer audiences, streaming companies, and publishers, now that they have already given a lot of dirt on the royal family? Will anybody actually care about what they've got to say if they're not blaming the royal family for all their problems, or talking about the deep spiritual pain of that time the Prince and Princess of Wales did not invite them to go halvesies on some takeaway? Right now, Meghan has no new projects scheduled for Netflix or Spotify, and there hasn't been any excitement for her to write another children's book either. Now, this month, Meghan signed with the Hollywood agency WME, but of course, we don't know exactly what direction they may take Meghan's career in. What is pretty clear, though, is that based on polls in the US, Meghan is not making friends. She's not influencing people either. She's only just making it back into net positive territory after disappearing into the negative numbers for most of the year, actually. It's been a little over 5 years since she and Harry got married, and what does she really have to show for all this time? Today, Meghan Markle is not somebody who brings people together. In fact, she is considered to be a very divisive figure, both politically and generally speaking. And she's not really known for her humanitarian work or her creative talent. Out of the king's two daughters-in-law, who on earth could have foreseen that in 2023 it would be Catherine, the former princess of the nude pantyhose, who would be the one hitting her mark and doing some exciting stuff, and that it would be Meghan, whose career seems to be absolutely floundering. And what is the greatest tragedy in all this? Well, we were denied the chance to get to see what kind of couture confection Meghan Markle would have worn to the coronation. Would it have fit her well? Probably not. But would we have had fun talking about it? Oh, definitely. I would guess it would have been the dress to end all dresses. I'm sure it would have cost as much as 1,000 dresses. And knowing what we now know about Bridesmaids Dressgate and all the tears, it probably could have led to the Great War of the two royal wives. Now, wouldn't that have been something to see? And you, what do you think about them? Please tell me your opinion below in the comments. If you think my video is useful, don't be afraid to like and share it with anyone else who would enjoy it. And please click the subscribe button below to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for watching, have a lovely week, and I'll be back to see you in the next videos.